Hello class. Today's topic is going to be about healing and why you don't need to do it. Let's start with the definition of healing. It means to be free from injury or disease or to make whole or complete. And it derives from these Old English and Proto-Germanic words, which literally mean to make whole. Now, the idea of healing that I'm going to be talking about today really refers more to a modern concept of spiritual and mental well-being, and this idea that we are not inherently or wholly complete within ourselves, and that we have to heal ourselves in order to be worthy of love or validation, even our own. And this idea of healing is elusive because it's something that's outside of ourselves. It becomes this former state of being that we must return to, or this future state of being that we're ever in search of. And when we're chasing after healing like this, we create for ourselves more suffering because we've completely convinced ourselves that the state of being healed is something that we currently are not. At that point, we're completely attached to this outcome of our happiness and our perceived self-worth and value being dependent on obtaining this thing which is no longer within us. So when we're experiencing suffering from an emotionally distressing or traumatic event in our lives, it is very likely because we are resisting the acceptance of that thing being in our lives, and we are resisting the necessity of that thing being there in the sequence of events in our lives for whatever reason. And the more that we try to resist or deny the presence of these things in our lives, the more that we end up inadvertently identifying with the negative aspects or energies of these very things. So in truth, unless you are in an active moment of experiencing perceived damage, you are not in a moment where you can actively be healing. It's like when you cut yourself with a knife, and after the initial pain subsides, your body knows that it's going to survive, so it gets right to work on creating a scar and tending to it. When the initial emotional rise subsides, we subconsciously choose our survival, and in that moment, we have already won. We have already healed. So if you're here today watching this, it's because you have already won, you have already healed. And if this message is coming to you now, you should take it as a sign that you can give yourself permission to believe that you are healed.